you on the topic of basic biological principles. First thing to consider. If you look around right now, chances are you are absolutely going to see something that is living, but also something that is non-living. In this course this year, you have gone through the scientific process to try to figure out what we can about life. How does it work? What predictions can we make about it? What are some of these common similarities that we see amongst all living things? Because biology is the study of living things. So what actually makes something living? The first thing that you need to be able to do is to identify some of those common characteristics that life shares. There is a great diversity between plants, animals, bacteria, mammals, fish that make up living things. So what are some of these characteristics that come to mind when we think about life? Now, what you will also have to be able to do is not just identify these characteristics, but also explain the characteristics. So let's explain these characteristics that are common to all organisms. First one is DNA. Every single living thing on our planet uses DNA, and it's used as this hereditary material. So what this means is that this is the material that's inherited from a parent to the offspring. And what we use it for is we use this to be able to copy it into RNA and then to make proteins from it. These proteins will then determine the characteristics of us as organisms. So humans, your cat or dog at home, bacteria, every single living thing uses its DNA in this way. Living things are made of cells. Cells are the basic unit of structure and function for all living things. And if we were to break down any living organism, the cell is the smallest unit of life. Once you get smaller than a cell, you're not going to be able to carry out those characteristics of life. All living things have to maintain homeostasis. So what that means is that within a individual cell, if it's a single-celled organism, or within the multi-celled organism, maintaining stable internal conditions in response to a changing environment or other types of stimuli like communication is homeostasis. A great example of homeostasis would be how we can maintain a body temperature as a endotherm, your warm-blooded organism. If we get too hot, we sweat. If we get too cold, we shiver. And there's a lot more going on, but that's with us maintaining our body temperature. Living things have to be able to respond to the environment. So if there is an environmental change, we have to be able to change in response. We have to be able to use those abiotic factors of our environment in order to get those resources that we need. So all living things can do this. Like the example shown on the screen, here you have different tropisms in plants, but again, it's a response to touch, or on the right, this is a response to gravity. Able to evolve. And this happens at the population level. So populations are going to change over time due to the mechanism of natural selection. Organisms that have the best heritable adaptations, those that can pass to their offspring, have the highest fitness, their ability to survive and reproduce, and then over time will cause that population to change. Organisms also have to be able to carry out reproduction, and this is primarily in the form of cell division, because cells have to come from other living cells. So this reproduction can be asexual, like mitosis, where the nucleus divides, or binary fission, like for prokaryotic cells, or it can be sexual, like meiosis, which you use to create gamete or sex cells. Organisms have to be able to maintain a metabolism. This is going to be a combination of all the chemical reactions within an organism. So it's an organism and the chemical reactions that they need to break down their nutrients in food, and then from the energy that they were able to transform and the matter that they now have to be able to create new compounds that they need through life through these reactions. So when we think of cell respiration and photosynthesis, those are two great examples of metabolism reactions. Living things need to be able to grow and develop. So over a lifetime, an organism, like a single-celled organism, needs to be able to grow, and organisms that are multi-celled need to be able to have a development of their cells to become specialized, to perform different functions. So with my plant example and animal example, over a period of time, not only does the organism grow, but those cells also go through a differentiation to become specialized. Now, there are two main types of cells that make up life: your prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells were the first cells that we had on our planet. They're smaller, they have no nucleus, and they don't have other membrane-bound organelles. As you saw there, think pro means no. They do not have a nucleus. Eukaryotic cells, they do have a nucleus. So they're going to contain their DNA within a nucleus. That allows for a lot more specialization and protection of the DNA. They're larger, more complex, and they can be multicellular. Although both of them have ribosomes, both have a cell membrane, but it is the eukaryote that has a nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. And last, there are various levels of organization to life. Life itself needs to be able to maintain its organized system. As long as there's a constant input of energy, life can maintain this organization at all levels. It starts from a cell. Cells make up tissues. Tissues are going to make up organs. Organs make up organ systems make up organisms, which make up populations, which make up communities, which throw in abiotic factors for ecosystem, then larger biomes, and finally the biosphere, where all life exists. I hope this helps. Have a great day.